This video is going to be a quick paint up of a Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives blank that I purchased off of Etsy from a seller named Top Notch Replica. This video also includes a step-by-step on how I make the leather straps for this mask. Okay, let's get into it. So after sanding down the blank, I then primed it with a Rust-Oleum flat gray primer. I next laid down a base coat of satin almond. Next I applied the included chevron from Top Notch Replica. And here I'm just doing some pat painting with some khaki paint on a washcloth. And now I'm just doing some shading around the eyes and throughout the mask with some folk art bark brown acrylic paint on a damp artist sponge. Then I took some burnt umber and did some very faint dry brushing throughout the mask and around the eyes. Then I did some light staining around the axe wound with some Monster Maker's aged polymer blood. And now I'm sealing the whole thing up with a few coats of satin clear coat. Now here's how I make my straps for this mask. So to start, here's a list of most of the stuff that I use to create my Jason Lives straps. Rivets, pop rivets, a pop rivet gun, 3/4 inch leather strap brown, a slab of leather brown, a leather hole punch, scissors, an anvil, and a hammer. So the first thing I do is to cut my 3/4 inch straps down to size. Now if you plan on making some of these yourself, be sure to measure your subject carefully as these are not adjustable. Then I drew out the semi-triangular back piece on a small slab of leather. I made a 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch cross and then connected the lines. And here's what it looked like after I cut out my pattern. Make sure that you draw your pattern on the back of the leather, not the face side, so that you don't damage the face of the leather. Next I measured dead center of the long strap and punched a hole. Then I punched a hole in each end of the long strap, where the pop rivets would mount the straps to the mask. And this is what I had so far: the back piece and a long strap with 3 holes in it, one on each end and one dead center. Next I took the short strap, lined it up underneath the long strap where the hole is, marked it, and punched a hole where the 2 straps will join together. Then I ended up with something like this: a back plate, a long strap with 3 holes in it, and a short strap with 1 hole in it that we will be adding another hole to later. Then I adjoined the short and the long strap with a double cap rivet. Now you can use pop rivets and washers for this entire process and it'll come out much stronger, but then you're going to have the blind side of the pop rivet scratching into the back of your head. So I use double caps on the back plate and pop rivets when I'm affixing the straps to the actual mask. Then I took the leather back piece, marked and punched 2 holes in it, marked and punched those holes into the strap, and then riveted the whole thing together using some double cap rivets. And here I'm just snapping in the double caps to make sure everything's lined up. And then you'll see that I take my hammer and bang everything into place. And last but not least, I popped the final hole in the straps, and I ended up with something that looked about like this. And there they are, ready to be pop riveted onto the mask. I always use pop rivets when I'm mounting these straps to the mask, as it's more screen accurate. And as I stated earlier, I use double caps on the plate and fastening the two straps together long and short so that it's more comfortable on the back of the head. And this part's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just popping in the two pop rivets at the bottom of the mask that hold nothing, and then I'll be popping in the three at the top of the mask that hold the straps. As an extra precaution, I always put a washer on the blind side of my pop rivets. So that's pretty much how I make my Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives straps. Now let's get into some showcasing shots for the straps themselves and the blank paint up. So that's the paint up and strapping of my Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives blank that I purchased off of Etsy from a seller named Top Notch Replica. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.